Alright guys, so last time you looked at finding the mean of tables where you had very solid discrete numbers, and that was great. This one's a little bit different today. So Naomi asked 40 friends how long it took them to travel to work. The results are shown in the table below. Okay, so before I even look at the questions, guys, I'll just quickly look at this table. That means that, and this is so important, we understand what the table represents. That means that 3 of her friends took between 0 and 10 minutes to get to school. So we don't know exactly for any of them, for any of those 3, but we know that it definitely took between 0 and 10 minutes. 8 of her friends took between 10 and 20 minutes. 11 of her friends took between 20 and 30 minutes. 9 of her friends took between 30 and 40 minutes, and 9 of her friends took between 40 and 50 minutes. Okay, so that's what the table is showing us. Now the first question is actually quite straightforward. Work out the modal class, right? The word modal, hopefully a few of you might recognise, sounds a lot like mode. And it is a lot like mode because it represents mode. Mode is the most common, the most frequent. Now here, I don't want you thinking that the answer is 9 because 9 comes up twice. It's nothing to do with it. The most common is the most common amount of time taken. So if only 3 people took that time, 8 people took that time, 9 people took that amount of time, 9 took that amount of time, but 11 people took that amount of time. So therefore, because 11 represents the highest amount of people in that category, your mode answer, the most common amount of time it took to get to school, was 20 to 30 minutes. And therefore that is your answer for the modal class because it represents the most common length of time taken. Okay? This is different though. Right, work out an estimate for the mean. Now, in your last session, you had it so that there is only one number here, 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 here. And then what we did is we multiplied, didn't we? The frequency to get the totals in that column. Right, everything is the same about that. However, this time we've got to do one step beforehand. Because there is no clear number here, because there is no definite number, it's between 0 and 10, we have to create what number it's going to be. Now we've got to think fairly and got to say, well, they could have taken 0 minutes or could have taken 10 minutes. If I picked, let's just pick 8 minutes as an example, that's too close to 10. If I said, let's pick 1 minute, that's too close to 0. We've got to try and be fair here. And therefore the fairest one is to go right for the middle. So what we do is we go midpoint and we say, yeah, I want to find the middle value. So 0 and 10, the middle value is going to be 5. So that 5 minutes we're going to look at for that. 10 to 20, the middle value is 15. 20 to 30, the middle value is 25. 30 to 40, the middle value is 35. And 40 to 50, the middle value is 45. If one or two of you, by the way, in the questions that you've got are struggling with that, because this is a more complicated numbers, to find this one, for example, you do 20 plus 30 equals 50, and then you divide that by 2 to equal 25. And that's another way of getting it in case it's more difficult numbers. Okay, now, if you think of the last session we had, what we then did is we then said, right, well, I want to find the total amount of time taken for each category. So we multiplied the minutes by the frequency. So that's what we do here now as well. Okay, because we've now created defined numbers from these categories. So 5 times 3, so that represents 15 minutes. 15 times 8, my brain's gone a bit slow here. I think it's 120, sorry, but we'll see. Yeah, 120. 25 times 11 is 275. Okay. 35 times 9 is 315. And the last one, 45 times 9, 405. So what we have here is we have all the totals from the time taken. Now, what I'm about to do here, by adding up all the totals, I'm about to find the total amount of minutes taken by all these students or all these friends to get to school. So I will do just that. I will do 15 minutes, add 120, add 275, add 315, add 405, and I would get 1130, 1130. Now that represents the amount of minutes taken by all of the friends. Now hopefully you remember, last time we did the total amount of minutes in this case, so 1130, and we divided it by the total amount of people that were asked. Now it's told us in the question how many people have been asked. It's going to be 40, but in case it didn't tell you in the question, you'd do 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 11 is 22, plus 9 is 31, plus 9 is 40, because 40 people were asked. So 40 people took in total 1,130 minutes to get to school. So therefore, to find the mean amount of time, you do 1130 divided by 40, which is 28.25. 28.25, and you wouldn't round it up or down. So therefore, we've worked out that the mean number of students, so the mean amount of minutes that the students took to get to school is 28.25 minutes. Okay, so it's almost exactly the same as the last session, but the biggest difference, the biggest step is that you must find the midpoint